Passive income is all the rage, right? You make $1,000 a month just by sitting there not really doing anything. Well, in some cases you might be doing something, and in some cases it might actually be your full-time job. But people love calling it passive income, right, YouTube? That's like number one on the list, YouTube, for passive income. And I think it takes a lot of effort to create content, come up with ideas, and make preferably good videos that people like to watch. But I guess you can make money at like 3 a.m. when you're sleeping or not sleeping, depending on who you are. So maybe it's semi-passive. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jacob Fisher, and today we're talking about passive income and YouTube and other ways you could potentially make money, whether or not YouTube is in fact the best source of passive income, or if there are better options out there, or options that hopefully you can combine into a kind of trifecta to at least cover your full-time job. I did a video a while back talking about the best sources of passive income, but then again, everyone does a video on passive income and various ways you can make money. Eventually, that gets kind of stale because it's the same information repeated dozens of times over and over again. In this video, to mix it up, I figured it'd be best to compare 3 sources of passive income. Well, semi-passive income, including YouTube, dividends, and hosting things through either Airbnb or a car sharing platform known as Turo. There are other things out there like selling photos, running a blog, creating a course, or drop shipping that can be passive as well. But I think these 3 things are the most worthwhile to do because they can turn into a full-time job, and pretty much anyone can get out there and do it with very little to get going. Dividends is the first thing you think of for truly passive income, but to make a salary off of it, you need to at least have $1 million, or really 2 to be comfortable living easily. $1 million can leave you at $50,000 a year if you find a 5% dividend portfolio, but a $2 million portfolio leaves you with $100,000 a year at a 5% return. Of course, the average dividend yields around 2%, which would make your $2 million portfolio around $40,000 a year, but it should grow a lot more than that based on just other growth factors in stocks alone. But again, if you're looking for a dividend portfolio, you're not trying for that 2% dividend rate. You are looking for that 5 to 6% or higher, maybe even 4%, a bit lower dividend payout that some stocks offer. The issue with trying to get dividends as your main source of income is that you need a lot of money to make it to work properly. So unless you have $2 million sitting around, which I don't, or even $1 million, then it might be a little difficult to live off of your portfolio. You could always start with a little things though, like rent. Let's say rent was $2,000 a month. Well, you would only need a portfolio of $480,000, and while that still is a lot, that's a lot easier to attain than just a $2 million portfolio, because that'll take many years, while a $480,000 might take 10 years or 5 years if you save aggressively and try to do some of these other things that increase your income. If you can create a dividend portfolio that pays you your monthly rent, then you really wouldn't need to worry about paying rent in the first place after that, which would be kind of nice if I'm honest. But that moves us into the other options that pretty much anyone can pick up and do just about right away, and maybe it'll help you supplement some of your income so you can have that portfolio to pay your rent. Let's get into Airbnb and Turo before we talk about YouTube. If you haven't heard, Airbnb allows you to rent out your home or even a room in your home so that people can stay for whatever period of time they choose. Turo is very similar, T-U-R-O, except you are renting out your car instead of your house. You can rent out a Mazda, but then again, maybe you want to step it up a little bit with a Bentley, a Lambo, or a McLaren. I think we get the point here, and I mean, maybe you don't have a Lamborghini sitting around, but you might have your extra car or just your car and you're stuck at home, so you could potentially rent it out if you wanted to. So how much can you make though renting out your car or a room or a home? On average, Airbnb hosts make over $900 a month, which does seem fairly good, but I think in some cases you can make a whole lot more. There are a few videos out there of people renovating spaces in their house, specifically garages, that they turn into like a little hotel where 4 to 6 people can sleep at. After the customizations are all said and done, they generally charge maybe $100 a night for people to stay there and generally get booked out because it's so cheap, especially if you're close to downtown in some cities or just close to the action depending on where you live. Let's take a little case study here. We have a new home with a detached garage in Denver. Is $665,000 to purchase, which is a lot of money. That's about $2,693 a month in the overall mortgage cost. It's walkable to downtown though, and honestly, it does seem like a really nice place to live. I can't afford it, but I wish I could. Searching the same area on Airbnb shows that you could rent out a place for 4 guests for $98 to $105 a night. Let's just average that out again at $100 a night, and that's including the weekly discount most of them are offering because I happen to set the range for staying there for a week. It seems like you can actually charge around $130 a night if someone was just staying for the weekend. I'm sure renovating a garage to turn it into an Airbnb takes a bit of money. That's definitely true. But once you have done that, you could be renting out your little garage for potentially $100 a night with a 70% monthly capacity in typical seasons. I mean, kind of atypical right now. You could probably make about $2,100 a month just from renting out your garage. There are probably some zoning laws and other things you need to consider, but just looking at the math, you could really be saving a ton of money on your mortgage. Of course, you can rent out your vacation home and potentially charge a whole lot more, depending on the location of where it is. And I know some people who are able to pay their mortgage just by renting out their home. Let's move into Turo though, because if you don't have a garage, a house, or an extra house, then maybe you have a car that you could potentially rent out, or even 2. There's plenty of people that have 2 cars. After much searching, more than I really anticipated, I found that my car can be rented for $94 a day using Turo, because I can offer things like ski racks, 4-wheel drive, and heated seats for those cold mountain days. I could potentially charge a bit more, maybe not $100 more, but definitely $20 to $30 more just by offering those things on Turo. On average, people who rent out their car on Turo make about $500 a month, but that should be enough to cover the cost of a car if you owe money on it. Now, I need my car every day, and so I personally cannot rent it out, but if I had a second car, then I probably would do something like this to earn a little bit of money and maybe pay for the mortgage, or maybe just buy a car and eventually make money on it. Let's take one of my realistic dream cars and see how much it rents out for. Colorado kind of sucks if you're trying to buy a BMW M2, so I changed my search area to Philadelphia, where a BMW M2 can be had for just under $50,000. I personally do not like the color white on it. I'd rather get a nice blue, but either way, it's around $50,000 for the car, and it would finance for around $667 a month. On Turo, you can rent out this car in my area, which I was kind of shocked to find one, for $102 to $136 a day. That means my car, or my fake car, would only need to be rented out 7 days a month to break even and eventually start making money on just owning a car. Though I think honestly my Jeep would rent out more just because of where I live. People don't really want to drive a sports car when you go skiing. I mean, I wouldn't take that car going skiing. I would take my 4-wheel drive car. But I'm sure plenty of people would love to rent out a BMW M2 in southern Florida or anywhere where it's sunny. And if you have a convertible, I'm sure you could charge even more for that. If I was lucky and somebody rented out my car for a whole month, I could probably generate around $1,000 to $2,000 a month just renting out the car in the winter. Seems kind of worth it, but again, I do need my car. Let's get into YouTube though, that final one that we've all been waiting for. And I think, as we all know, YouTube pays $2 to $30, which is a lot, per 1,000 views that you make if you are monetized with 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers. The more money in your content, generally the higher payout would be, with gaming channels making up the low end at around $2 and finance channels around $15 per 1,000 views. And then I know some videos talking about Amazon affiliate marketing can make as close to $30 per 1,000 views, and maybe videos on day trading could be doing similar, since most people paying for ads on that kind of video are trying to sell a digital product rather than a physical good, so they just have more money to spend on advertising overall. That's just kind of how I imagine it. That being said, you shouldn't get into an Amazon affiliate marketing YouTube just because it might be the highest paying category. because if you don't like making the videos on it, then that would get real boring real fast. I mean, I'm sure you could, but then you'd be kind of annoyed when you didn't grow quickly, when you weren't making money quickly, and when maybe the payout wasn't as high as you were expecting. Similarly, if you don't like finance, then also don't make a channel about that. But I have a feeling if you're watching this video, you might have a interest in finance at least, so maybe you'd be okay making a video and you'd be really good at it potentially too. I started this channel because I do like finance, I like credit cards, and I like spending as little as I possibly can to get out there and travel and explore, and also make a little bit of money as safely as possible or stress-free as possible with option trading, which has kind of taken up a bit of my channel. That's on Wednesdays if you want to see videos on the stock market. That's all interesting to me, so I don't really get annoyed when I need to come up with new ideas because I'm always thinking about this stuff anyway, so I'll just jot it down really quickly. So if you wanted to create a channel, it should be in something you enjoy doing. I don't hate making videos at all, again, and I really enjoy putting together different videos and exploring different editing techniques that I probably should get more into with this video maybe. I guess it doesn't hurt that finance is one of the higher paying YouTube categories, but if you like gaming, then make a gaming channel because other people might enjoy your content you put out. And maybe you'll get into streaming and make more money doing that and become a new big streamer that everyone wants to talk about and wants to be. You also could just be the next person on YouTube blowing up. Despite people looking at gaming as being oversaturated and you shouldn't create videos in it, I still see new gaming YouTubers blowing up, so people can definitely still do that. I mean, maybe you are into gaming and you've heard of Z-Laner. A few months ago, he was a nobody, but now he's getting kind of close to Doc Disrespect. If maybe he's not the most popular, but you get the point. Let's real quick get into the finances though, because with a YouTube channel, you sort of kind of hope to make money out of it at some point, whether you donate it, keep it, or just, you know, do whatever. It's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. Maybe you want $1,000 a month in passive income, which at a $2 per 1,000 view, then you would need around 500,000 views a month. At $15, you would need 66,000 views a month, and at $30, you would need 33,000 views a month. All of these numbers are completely achievable if you just create content that people enjoy, and maybe one day the YouTube algorithm will really push out your video, and one day you'll hit it big, and you'll be the next big YouTuber. If you were to combine all of these sources of income, you could easily make it your full-time job, or just enough income on the side that you can put it in a dividend portfolio and to do whatever you might want to do with your life because you have a dividend portfolio that now pays you and is big enough to pay you. Let me know your thoughts on the ideas in the comments below. I upload videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on travel and finance, so if that sounds like something interesting to you, make sure you hit that little subscribe button down there. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.